Peyton Porter, welcome back to the music universe. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me back. It's good to be
Oh,
here.
absolutely. And we're talking about your new EP, Grown. Tell us about that project and what inspired it.
Grown is kind of my coming of age story. I put out a project and it kind of sent me in a spiral of figuring out who I am, and I just didn't really feel like I was showing all of the sides of myself, and so I took some time off and made a bunch of adult decisions like cutting my bangs and moving into a sketchy apartment and decorating it with a bunch of weird stuff that none of my friends would have chosen, and my mom definitely wouldn't have chosen for me to use. But it was just kind of a stepping into my own and a coming of age and the beauty and the ugly parts of doing that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like your kind of like a bio up to this point, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It feels like this one bridges the space between where I'm at now and where I'm about to go and the first project. It feels like we caught everybody up to speed on what went down in the quiet months of my career.
Yeah, because I know before we spoke about In My Head, and that has earned over 10 million streams across all the digital platforms. What does it feel like to be at that level as I presume as an independent artist still, correct?
Yes, that is correct. It feels really great. I mean, I love being an independent artist. I haven't known anything else, obviously, but I do really like the freedom and the control and just the agility that it affords me because I feel like we evolve so quickly as people and especially as artists. And so I can come in one week and say, I want to do this. And then 2 weeks later, I've completely changed my mind. And being able to make decisions and then execute them really quickly because of being independent is really
Mhm.
awesome. It's also crazy to me that the numbers are that high. I'm not a huge number person. So hearing that, I'm like, oh, wow, that was really doing well. And we've talked about that a lot among my team and my people. They're like, it's so interesting that you decided that something that was really successful still wasn't right for you. And there's kind of been a trend of that. Like in my hometown, I had no reason to really want to leave. I mean, everyone there was so kind to me and my whole family's there. I was loved on. I felt like I didn't fit in, but I was always accepted. And that's kind of how that first project felt too. Is it was really well received and really accepted. I was just the only one who didn't feel like I could keep it up for 50 to 60 years, and that's all I want to do is get to do this until they put me in the ground.
Where's home?
Home is North Georgia, and we actually got to shoot a lot of the content for Grown in Georgia. All of the cover art is in my hometown. The Lemonade music video is in my hometown. So is the God's Hotel music video. And I even got to source my friends and family for the Lemonade video. It's got like my dad and my cousin's uncle and some of my high school friends and my new niece. So it's been fun to go back home and really honor where I came from.
Yeah, it's great to get out sometimes, but it's even better sometimes to get back there, especially when
Totally.
you've been gone a little bit. Well, speaking of Lemonade, talk about that. What's behind that song?
Well, we wrote that one during the pandemic over Zoom, and we had all just kind of been misplaced, and we were all laughing about the ins and outs of being back in our small towns after being in Nashville. And I think Matt was the one who had a neighbor who was growing pot in his basement. And my dad is a UPS man. And I knew my mom was eavesdropping when I was writing songs at the kitchen counter. And so I wanted to say something to try and get a reaction. So I started talking about women who maybe were checking my dad out on his route. And my mom poked her head in. She was like, don't say that. And so, of course, I kept it in the song. Um, so it was just kind of this whole thing about really looking around us at a new perspective that we hadn't been in a minute and talking about how everybody is really good at not minding their own business, and how sometimes it's important to just let people live and let them do whatever they need to do to get through whatever they're going through. And that's a common theme, I think, in the songs that I write. And just kind of my perspective on the world is everybody needs to take care of their own before they start worrying about everybody else's.
Stop being a Karen, right?
Oh, yeah. I know some good Karens, I will say, but yeah, they gotta just mind their own.
Yeah, yeah. And the song has been picked up on Sirius XM's The Highway on the Horizon. And you've been featured on, of course, all the digital platforms as editorial content. And it's gotta be a great feeling to come from, a small town in Georgia, and TikTok, of course, is where you kind of blew up, and then to get this kind of attraction. I mean, we already talked about the 10 million listens and streams, but it's like you're becoming a global name. How does that make you feel coming from such a small town?
I don't think that I can process it. I think that the more I tour, the maybe easier it'll be to understand that many people have listened to it or have maybe heard of me or seen a video of me in my car singing and talking about my college breakups. But I don't think that it's really registered, and I think it's amazing. I'm really, really excited and eager to get on the road though and go meet all of the people behind those numbers, because I think that that's my favorite part about this whole gig is getting to play them live and getting to travel and see the world through the lens of doing the music. But it is crazy. I think if I was to tell my mom that number, she would be like, I don't think that's right.
I don't want to get political by any means, but I'm sure you've heard about TikTok potentially being banned in America. What do you think, as being a star from there, being, discovered there, what do you think that means for future and upcoming artists if that happens?
I mean, I think we've had successful artists before TikTok. We will have successful artists with it. We will have successful artists without it. And it's become a tool for creatives to use to get their songs to people directly. But we've done it before without it. And I think it's a great outlet. I think if you're building your entire audience on TikTok, that's challenging, because I'm grateful for everything that it has done for me as an artist and all the doors it's opened. But I also just feel like part of being an artist is knowing that you can have a fan base outside of one platform and knowing that it has to be bigger than just one piece of the pie. And I hope it doesn't go away. There's a bunch of funny stuff on TikTok. I really like it as a consumer, much more as a consumer than as a creator. Um,
Less work,
but
right?
it's a lot. It's I'm on there for like hours and then I look up, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be contributing to the amount of stuff on this. I need to go post something.
So are you still very active on it today with what you do?
Yes, I try to be. I've gone through the phases of love and hate with TikTok. It was much more fun when I was using it because I wanted to and not because I was supposed to, which is
Hmm.
anything. But it is one of the areas where getting to do music, it does make it feel like a job. And it's really easy for, I mean, all of our dreams are coming true. If we're writing songs for a living and playing shows, our dreams are coming true. So it can sometimes feel like we have a make believe job. So TikTok is one of the few areas where I'm like, I actually get to work here. And I try and post on it multiple times a day right now, especially around releases. Everyone tells me I'm supposed to be posting multiple times a day, so I do, and I enjoy it. I'm finding ways to use it that make me happy, and that's all I can do, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you're making other people happy too with the content. You have some high profile gigs coming up. You want to tell us about those?
Yes, I've got my first. Well, I'm playing Tortuga. I think that one's first, and I'm really excited. I have never played that festival before. And then I've got my first headline shows ever, and I'm so excited because I get to play as long as I want and as loud as I want, which is
Oh,
not often what I get to do. And those are going to be at the Basement in Nashville on April 17th, and then at Eddie's Attic on April 25th in Atlanta. And those kind of bookend my journey of where I'm from and where I grew up and where I've been growing since I moved to Nashville. And then I'm also opening for Tim McGraw in arenas, which is insane to me, and it never feels real when I say it out
yeah.
loud. But we've started planning the set and like the stage plot and all of the things, and it's starting to definitely feel more real that I'm going to be singing in an arena with Tim McGraw.
Yeah, and
So,
Carly Pierce is on that too. How did
yes.
you get that opportunity?
Well, I think that I played a gig in New York actually that Carly played, and we've got the same booking agency company. And
Hmm.
I played like a private event for the Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame, and made a lot of really good relationships there. And it just went over really well. And I think that that opened a lot of the doors for me. And then getting to meet Carly was a big part of it too, I think. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they know what they're doing by putting me on these shows, but I'm not going to tell them.
No, I mean,
We're going to
take
show
it.
up.
Yeah. That's a great gig. So hopefully that well, not hopefully it will open a lot of doors for you and bring those numbers up as well. Anything else you want to add?
um, just come see me at a show if you're anywhere near me. I'm trying to get on the road as much as I can, and we've got a lot of music coming out. So dig into Grown, and we got more where that's from.
Yeah, and it's available now. So perhaps we maybe will see an album you kind of teasing there.
Yeah, I would love an album, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I'm just slowly gonna trickle enough music out that it feels like an album.
But, it's kind of become a singles market again, like it was, in the 70s and stuff. So I don't blame you there.
Yep. We'll see. I do believe in a full length album. I think that that's still a very important piece of art and a really important asset for every artist to have in their catalog. So we'll see. If enough doors open, I'll get enough money to make a full length album. And then I've got the songs. I mean, we're writing 4 to 5 times a week. So
Oh
I've got the
wow.
songs. Got
So
the
you're
songs.
I say you're cranking them out then.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, Peyton, once again, thank you for joining me and looking forward to all the success and good luck with Tim and Carly this summer and all the festival appearances and the headlining shows. Just be sure to crank it up. I used to always get louder whenever someone told me not to.
Yep. That's my plan. That is my plan.